Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel to the second episode of Politics, Facts versus Mythconceptions. I'm still kind of working about that name. Not as polished as I was before. Had to go outside, hair got, ugh, you know. And Hung Hero, YouTube is an asshole. I am. So I went in and I added someone as a moderator today because they've been helping me out a lot with paperwork and stuff and like trying to figure out, all of this. And I must have, when I went in there and clicked, I was doing it during a stream. So I might have just unmodded you on accident. I'm sorry. Not intentional. So it wasn't YouTube that was an asshole. It was me. Hey, Christine, how are you? Roy, can't take no more of Karen Reed case with Tugs. I'm hopping over here. I watched a couple of minutes of it, but I can't take the trolls. And because I had this stream planned, I didn't have time to feed the trolls. So, you know, I kind of just left and I was trying to get the little to bed too. So, yeah, I'm so over Karen Reed. It was such a bullshit trial. Like, and the fact that people actually believe that crap, it's honestly, it's no different people thinking she's guilty than people thinking Trump wants to be a dictator. Hey Tammy, how are you? Heard that um couple coworkers were talking about Trump today, say he wants to be a dictator. Mm. Please have them provide me with the evidence because I'd sure as shit like to see it, considering he was already president for 4 years and hey, we still a constitutional republic. Contrary to popular belief, we are not a democracy. A democracy is mob rule. We are not a democracy because our founding fathers had some intelligence that knew that mob rule sucked. Um, the biggest historical mob rule that I can think of in the country is the Salem witch trials. Got people killed for nothing. Hey, Flash fan, how are you doing tonight? David. Oh, and thanks, Tammy. I'm feeling like a hot mess. The hair was straight earlier, and then you go outside in 95-degree weather with 80% humidity, and everything goes to shit. Um, well, yeah, you beat him on is probably a bad idea, but we, me being a YouTuber is a bad idea, but here we are. Uh, you send me an email? Let me check. I checked my email earlier, but I oh, and I'm somehow up to 405 subscribers. I don't know how the hell that happened, but thank you to each and every one of you. Because I went from 395 today to 405. Didn't really do a yeah. I'm yeah. I don't know how that happened, but we are almost 1,500 watch hours and 405 people. So we are halfway with the watch hours, and we need 95 more subscribers to even be eligible to be monetized. Let me check my email. I just have to open up one of the 900,000 tabs I have. We. You ever look at something that's right in front of your face and you can't find it? Welcome to my day. Ooh. Ooh. I'll have to take a look at this one. Flashman sent me a information about a case out of Ohio, Chad Dorman, father accused of unaliving with a freedom seed thrower, as Mo would say, his three sons. Ooh, I can't even imagine what kind of mindset you have to be in to hurt a child, especially one that you helped make. I I'll have to look into that because that's a really yeah, that one would be personal. So you would see my mama bear mode come out, which ask my mother-in-law ain't pretty. Mm. Oh, speaking of that, um oh, I need to do I need to do a stream with y'all sometime, um, about the family drama because my in-laws sent baby squid a birthday card, and they didn't call, they didn't text. Um, my mother-in-law tried to pit me and my sister-in-law together or against each other for the last 4 years, and Mr. Squid we just found out the level of it back in, like, April, March, and Mr. Squid is beyond giving a crap anymore. This is she got a card in the mail, he didn't even let her see it. He threw it away because he does not want to deal with the drama. So, remember parents, when you hold your children too tight and try to control their lives when they're adults, there will come a point where they no longer want you in their life. PSA, don't hold your kids too tight and try to control their lives because the more you try to control, the more they will stay away. Bye. Just a mm, just a little glimpse into my world. Um, Evidence is apparently that he said we won't need to vote again after voting for him. Wait, what the hell was 2020? Can he enlighten me? I mean, yes, Trump cut regulations, red tape, wanted to return more power to the states and people. If it's not in the Constitution, it is not a federal power. If it's not in the Constitution, let me just repeat this. If it is not in the Constitution, it is not supposed to be a federal power. So things are being returned to the states. And if you don't like what your state does, either vote somebody else in or move. That's why we have 50 different states, because everybody wanted to do something different. Oi, oi, oi. Yeah, no one could foresee this level of corruption. And I think technology had a lot to do with it, but that's a rabbit hole that we don't have time to go to, you know. Ooh, I'll have to read more into that. Okay, I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what not to do, but no one is prepared to be a parent until you are one. So that's not something that you ever need to be scared of. And all the parents in the chat can, you know, can tell you they don't have a manual on it and no one's perfect. And the fact that you don't want to be like your parents means means you are means you're going to be a good dad because you care. And the fact that you're trying to change and you're scared of being like what you came from, that's all you need. So, yeah. And anybody else in the chat that's a parent, back me up because y'all been there. It's never too old to adopt. There's kids that need to be adopted. There's kids that need families. And all that some kids care about is having a loving parent. And it doesn't matter who the hell it is or how old they are. That's my theory. There are always kids that need love. The parental kind of love, not the map love. Just saying. But that's another rabbit hole that we don't have time to get into. See? What you laughing at me for? All right. So anyway, one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight was an update on Project 2025. Well, that's just creepy. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah. That right there. What he said. So yeah, not map love. We are going to look at so I have one topic from 3 different news outlets, and you can see the spin that they put on it. And this is what I hate about the media. So there's let me start with the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, and trust me, we love you guys for it. Sarcasm included. Let's see. We are going to share. Yeah, I agree. Wall Street Journal. All right. Head of Project 2025 steps down following Trump's criticism. The group had set an agenda for a second Trump term, but it was criticized by the former president. As we established last week, it was a ultra conservative wish list of what they would like to see done. Nothing to do with Trump. Yes, Trump might have had some interactions with some of the people there, but I have interactions with everybody in the chat. That doesn't mean I agree with all of y'all. Just because two people and also just because they like him doesn't mean that he has to like them. We think that just because people that are not good people or don't agree with us like the same person as us, that we all of a sudden think the same way. Mm-mm. There is no group think on this side of the aisle. And that's why you see so much infighting and so much disagreement among people on the right, is because we don't all think the same. We always disagree on shit. And the fact is we're not afraid to tell people that we disagree with shit and why we disagree with it. So, there's that. It's my little soapbox. And I can't read the rest of this article without a subscription, but the first paragraph and the headline kind of tells you all that you need to know about the Wall Street Journal, what they wrote, versus some other issues. Let me say. Heritage Foundation official who leads Project 2025, the conservative roadmap for the next Republican administration. See, right there, the next Republican administration, not Trump's administration. Republican. They wrote this. Yes, Trump was the prospective nominee for the whole time, but there were other people running for Republican presidential nomination. This was written before that. This was written before Trump became the nominee. So this is Republican administration, not Trump's administration. There is hint number one that Wall Street Journal is actually giving you the facts and not their opinion. Yeah, my bad. You know, it is what it is. Uh, so there's that. The next Republican administration is stepping down after former President Donald Trump and his aides publicly criticized the group, and Democrats decried its proposals and radical and dangerous. All true, factual, not opinions. Donald Trump criticized it. Democrats freaked out. Facts. Versus Forbes. And I have like 8,000 tabs open. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? So Project 2025 director steps down after Trump criticism, but project will stay active. The director of Project 2025 program that's drawn widespread criticism for its hard right proposals is stepping down, the Heritage Foundation confirmed Tuesday. A move that comes after former President Trump and his campaign have strongly disavowed any connection to his controversial policy agenda. Paul Dance will leave his role at Heritage Foundation and move up to the front where the fight remains, Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts said in a statement to Forbes. Project 2025 is a multi-pronged project led by the right-wing Heritage Foundation aimed at providing a blueprint for the next conservative administration, namely Trump's, which has drawn controversy for its 900-page policy framework calling for a complete overhaul of the executive branch. That's technically true, but technically not. As we discovered last week, it's not calling for a complete overhaul of the executive branch. It's calling for the overhaul of unelected people in Washington. Not executive, because the FBI is not executive branch. FBI is not actually a like I mean, they would be part of the judicial branch if you really want to, you know, be technical, but this is how they spin. They give you half of the information. Complete overhaul of the executive branch. Yes, it does call for overhaul of executive functions. However, it also calls for the overhaul of Homeland Security, the FBI, like um every bureaucratic division of the government that is not elected officials. Because there are way too many people in Washington who have power to control your lives that are not elected. And that's one thing that Republicans hate is unelected people. Yeah, technically it would be judicial, but like it's a bureaucratic agency, so it's not exactly like the founding fathers never envisioned the FBI. So when they made the three branches of government, they, let's, go back to like 7th grade social studies and like so it's kind of one of those gray areas. But it's like that is how my definition of misinformation. It's not that they lie to you all the time. Sometimes they do. But it's that they take things out of context and or only give you half of the information. They give you the information that they want you to hear and that supports their position, not everything. They're almost like lawyers, where to prove their case, they only try to get in the shit that makes them look good. Yes, two things. Founding fathers are rolling in their graves and the media is asshole, which is part of the reason that I wanted to start this stream, because talking to certain people, you know who you are, we're scared. And it's like, I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of the people trying to scare people because they're they think we're stupid and they think that we're not going to investigate for ourselves. And I read something tonight that says it's okay to be ignorant, but it's not okay to stay ignorant. When you know that you don't know something and someone tries to tell you something and then you argue with that person and call them all sorts of names. But it's like if you don't know something, that's fine. No one knows everything. It's impossible to know everything. But it's the people that believe what they see without looking at multiple sources. And this is kind of the oh yeah. Um I laugh when I okay, I lost it in a boating accident. However, when people say that the Matthew Crook shot was a long shot, I had no. See, and that's the thing. But the flash fan, the difference between you and a lot of people is that you had questions and you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation of watching the RNC as a Democrat and watching it with open eyes and open ears and maybe not believing everything you heard, but at least being open to the fact that the people on the other side of the aisle don't hate you. So it's not it happens to a lot of people. It happens to people on both sides of the aisle. I'm not ever trying to imply that the uh that the left is the only people who do this. The right does it too. right does it a little bit less, sort of. And when I mean they do it a little bit less is they know that they can't get away with this shit because their constituents and the people on the right will look that shit up on their own and call them out. Versus some people that either don't have the time or just believe what they hear and are like, "Okay." Like the people who believe CNN. Like honestly, the people who believe CNN that think CNN is like the only news source. And it's like CNN said Trump fell for 3 hours. So, see? And it's the thing of like it's not that you have like we would love for you to vote with us, but at the same time, like we don't judge you based on who you vote for. Like yeah, see and the curiosity is what opens minds. And I grew up in a family where my dad was a Republican and my mom was not. My mom is now. Well, my mom's like me. She's like, "I hate the government. F the government. Leave me alone. Stay out of my life. And y'all have too much power." That's pretty much my yeah. Yeah, and see, the 2A is not for the people to be scared. Yes, this right here. I lived 45 minutes from Kenosha when this shit happened. There are people like Whoopi Goldberg who said he shot black people. Like, eh, he he did not. Like, mm, he did not. And he had damn good trigger control too. If you watch the videos, like, yeah. Hey John, how are you? Yeah, I'm like that when it comes to the whole government, the state. Like, don't talk to cops. Like I have friends that are cops, and when I've seen them in an official capacity, I still don't talk to them, and they know that because I ain't stupid. Anything you say can and will be used against you, and they all wear body cams. So you open your mouth and say something, it's on video. Yeah, my dad doesn't live an incredibly far distance from there. Um, yeah. So, yeah, I remember that whole thing, and that everybody says that the cop killed Jacob Blake. It's like, no, he didn't. Jacob Blake is still alive. He's not as functional as he once was, but he's still alive. He's just wheelchair bound the last time I heard. But like that it was reported and it might have been misreported in the beginning cuz you only get so much. Just like we saw with the Trump stuff, you only get so much information. And then as more information comes out, you fix your mistakes. And they never did. They took it and ran with it. All right. So, like getting back to this project 2025, and you know what? The cops effed up. Like I'm glad that whether he did it or not, I'm glad that his confession got thrown out because they screwed up. You procedurally screw up, you have to suffer the consequences, and now the prosecutors have to work harder. Yeah, and he also had a very sharp object in the front seat of his vehicle that he had a hold of. So, and he was violating a restraining order too. So there's all that. But that's neither here nor there and not exactly that's just an example of yeah, well, it's right BS too. Like Fox ain't the greatest either. Like it's a little better, but like yeah, it's all bullshit. That's why if you can get 3 or 4 sources from different sides of the aisle all to agree on the same thing, then you know it's true. Or if you see video and watch it for yourself. Um it says the Trump campaign has distanced itself from Project 2025 as its policies have come under scrutiny. with Trump saying he has nothing to do with them and some of their ideas are ridiculous and abysmal, and campaign advisor Chris Lasavita saying the group had become a pain in the ass for the campaign. Well, I like how it says distance himself. He didn't distance himself from anything. He just said it like it is. That's not his policies. He had nothing to do with the creation of that, and he has his own shit he wants to do, which we talked about last week. If any of y'all weren't here last week and didn't see it, I will link it at the end of this video. I'll put it down in the description. But like Dan had defended Project 2025 as recently as Tuesday, saying on Steve Bannon's War Room program that in order to retake the government, we have to start with the executive branch. I don't disagree with that, but there are ways to do it. And one or two things at a time in Project 2025, not the worst thing ever. The ideas aren't bad. It's the execution of those ideas that is not, yeah. But they had put this out before Trump was the nominee. So like, but you can see how Forbes takes it and gives you half truths. Like it's it's just the way people write things that can shape someone's understanding, and it makes me angry. Because like here is Fox Business. This is another one. This is where the title, A New Kind of Censorship, comes in. Yeah, and things that might need to be done or we might think that are a good idea, like I think getting rid of the FBI is a good idea. However, I don't just go, we need to get rid of the FBI without coming up with some sort of plan to figure out how we're going to do what the FBI was originally intended to do before the corruption took over. Like you don't just come in with like these, come in like a bull with all these ideas, but not actually have productive things to bring to the table that might get people to agree. Like you have to find a middle ground, and that's where no one wants to do. No one wants to try to find a middle ground. Everybody just wants it the way they want it. We're all stubborn kids. Like as a kid, your parents always give you what you wanted? Or did they say, hell no, you have to wait? Patience. Like delayed gratification is sometimes a very good thing for a child because it teaches us as adults that you can't always get what you want right when you want it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my opinion that that's wrong. That's what's wrong with Gen Z. Is they were the generation that got what they wanted when they wanted all the time until they found out that as adults, you can't have what you want right when you want it. And guess what? It sucks. Being an adult sucks. Why we ever wanted to grow the fuck up, I don't know. But like, yes, this mainstream media says Trump banned abortion. No, the issue was returned to the states because the ability to finish a pregnancy for non-medical reasons just because you don't want it anymore is not in the Constitution. So it's not a federal issue. And even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as liberal as she was, said that that was bad law. Like, it's not that he didn't get rid of it. And guess what? But I do think that Republican states did what Republican states always do when they finally get a win. They go overboard. And it's my opinion that they went way over too fast. Like, start with, hey, after the first trimester, like, go with Yeah. I mean, in some cases, and I think we had this conversation before, but an abortion technically is a medical procedure that was intended to be done in a hospital with when it's a pregnancy that is not viable. It is an ectopic pregnancy, like things that are actually medical issues for the mother. Somehow along the lines, it turned into, I don't want to be pregnant anymore. Let's end it. And that's what like it it was never meant to be what it is now. And that's where like returning it to the states was great because it was bad law. But some of the states took it too far too fast. And that's where they're getting a lot of the pushback. Is they took it too far too fast. They got a win and they ran with it instead of just going, we got to win. Like, yes, exactly. And that's the other thing that gets twisted is we Republicans are trying to eliminate or pro-life people, not just Republicans. Anybody who's pro-life is trying to get rid of elective abortions, not the hospital endangering the life of the mother. That is I those 2 got yes, it turned into a form of birth control. It and somebody I was talking to or I saw brought up a really good point. One of my in real life friends, she was like, "Women are only capable of having 1 baby every 9 months or 40 weeks. Men are capable of impregnating multiple people at the same time. Shouldn't we be worried about men in birth control instead of women in birth control?" And I was like, "That's a really good point." That's a really, really good point. Like, but once again, see, and that's why I like talking to you guys because I have topics for this show, but then I see what you guys are talking about and what you bring up, and we just have a conversation. Yeah, it's me just talking to a camera, but it's a conversation. And we figure out together why this country is the way it is and how we can one step at a time change it. Yes, that's exactly. I mean, that was a sperm bank, so it's slightly different, but yeah, it's might as well be the same thing. Um, I like the show Wild 'N Out. I'm not a huge Nick Cannon fan, but the show itself is effing hilarious. Um, and they always make fun of Nick because he has like 11 kids with like 10 baby mamas or something like that. And it's like, I know they're all taken care of because he's rich, but it's like that is not that's not someone you want to look up to as a as an example of how not, it's like how not to get people pregnant. Well, that's true. That's true. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to turn this into that stream or that kind of a stream, but like this is the most beta male society I've ever seen. Like, yes, Nick can afford it, but there are people who look up to Nick and think that like it and think that that's an acceptable thing for Joe Schmo off the street with a minimum wage income. Hey, Peachy. So this was the whole point of the what I wanted to talk about tonight is Trump blasts Meta and Google after users claim company censored assassination attempt searches. So it's fixed tonight. I looked it up again, but 4 days ago, 3 days ago when I tried to look up, wanted the first time I heard this, I was like, "Let me see." So I typed in Trump, nothing came up in like the auto finish or the suggestions. Assassination, nothing came up in Google. I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." Now you type Trump and assassination attempt is the first thing that went, first thing that came up. And Meta, who is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, um, censored the Trump photo with his arm up, um, as a doctored photo, and then only backtracked and said it was an accident after they were called out. If they would have came out before the backlash, this is what also makes me not trust people, is you only come out and say it was a mistake when your ass has been called out on it. They never went and said, "Oh, we made a mistake, sorry," and got ahead of the situation. So if it was truly a mistake, when you figure it out with that first person complaining, get ahead of the situation and say, "We're sorry, it was a mistake, it was unintentional," but they just let it go. And they're like, "Oh, it was a mistake, but oh well, we'll keep it the way it is." And then you get all this backlash. That's why celebrity apologies, don't believe them for a second. They're just trying to get rid of the backlash and save their asses. If they would never have a backlash, they would never apologize for shit because they ain't sorry. Like, just saying. Um, Former President Trump took to Truth Social in response to censorship of media relating to the failed attempt on his life, urging his supporters to, quote, go after two big tech companies. And they say the go after. I've heard it. Have a good night. We'll see you later, Flash fan. I'll look into that new case and email you back what I think. Um, so they look at the words they used. Yes, urging his supporters to go after two big tech companies. I don't have Truth Social, but knowing how Trump talks, he said something along the lines, and if anybody is on Truth Social and actually has that post, um, can you email it to me? Because I like how that's the only words they use are the go after. And that's why this country has resorted to violence, because you hear go after and you think, "Oh, he wants us to go after, like attack." No, he wants you to go after with your, fingers, type away, call, make phone calls to people, get on your social media and let people know what's going on, call out the bullcrap. And but you put it like that, and the crazy people who are a little unhinged to begin with see that and think that's a call to violence. Just like the put a bullseye on Trump that Biden had said. Do I think that Biden, well, I don't really think Biden can think. So I don't think that he thought that anybody would take that as like a physical bullseye. But when you have people who are angered in a society and you use inflaming language like that, it's that is part of our problem is people take two words out of what probably was a paragraph or two long post about what he wants us to do as his supporters and how he wants us to support him. Like, and this is what I'm saying. This is Fox Business. So they are no better than any other fucking company. Like, Trump lashed out. See the word choices, lashed out at Meta and Google on Tuesday morning following the outcry from social media users on Monday. Users reported that images and searches of the assassination attempt were being censored or marked as digitally altered. Facebook has just admitted that it wrongly censored Trump and the attempted assassination photo and got caught. Same thing for Google. Trump wrote on his proprietary social media platform, Truth Social. They made it virtually impossible to find pictures or anything about this heinous act. Both are facing big backlash over censorship claims. See? There's more. But, and even though they have more in here, how many people read past the first paragraph of any article? I'll wait because not many do. So that's why they bury things in, like, paragraphs down, you know. Here we go again, another attempt at rigging the election, and go after Meta and Google. Let them know we are all wise to them. We will be much tougher this time. See, let them know, not go after physically. But if you would have just see to this first paragraph and didn't have the time or the energy or just take headlines as is, you would see that and that's all you would notice. And then you'd be like, well, he told people to go after them. Yes, letting them know with emails, social posts, like, you know, articles. It's just one of those like, guys. But like Fox Business is no better. Like ugh. So it says users across X shared reports that their Facebook accounts were labeling the image of Trump pumping his fist in the air after the July 13th assassination attempt as altered. Accompanied by the message, independent fact checkers reviewed a similar photo and said it was altered in a way that could mislead people. Like, hey, Rogue Mama, how are you? Yeah, I have a Twitter account, but like my Twitter account is only because I do this. If I didn't like, I had a Twitter account for years, but like I didn't actually post anything because Twitter was a cesspool. But now that I have a channel, it's one way to get a hold of other creators, like get a hold of people to contact me easily. It's yeah, I hate to say it, but Twitter's the only way to go sometimes. It sucks to say. And but my Facebook account is my account. Like if I don't know you, like you're not on my Facebook. Like no. I just went and recently purged about 250 people from my Facebook account because I'm like, I don't talk to you people. Like, why are you on my friends list when we aren't friends? What I don't like is people sending me um huge pictures in um my Twitter that freak me out when I open it up. And now every time I get a message from certain people, I'm like, do I actually want to open this up? Because no. Like no. I'm not naming names, but Unhung Hero. Oh, sorry. My bad. I just said I wasn't naming names. Uh, a company spokesperson admitted that incorrect fact checks were being applied to the photo and warned further inaccurate responses to the media could appear before a fix is made. Unhung Hero, I'm going to show this picture only because I deleted it. That's why. But has shared pictures such as this, along with some other, yeah, yeah. Um, David, were you in the Nope show stream earlier today with, Roslyn? 'Cause, we have a show, if any of y'all aren't familiar with it, that Rosalind and I started with Rogue Mama that, but we're still trying to get Rogue Mama to start a channel so she can come on with us. Um, so everybody encourage Rogue Mama to, yeah, to start to come on to the next Nope show because she's fun. Um, but it's a whole bunch of things that you look at, stories you read, and you're just like, nope, I'll pass. Well, the, this was the kind of stuff that he was sending me, except for this is one that I don't care about. Like, I see a gator, gators are in ponds around here. So it's, yeah. But a regular day, uh, my I did not see the lizard today. It did not step on my foot. It was not on my squat rack. Like, I did not see any wildlife today, um, except for my chickens. Um, it's weird to not actually see. No, please don't send me the spider again. The yellow spider with the article, I can take that, but the other one, whatever that one was, no, David, this is what is in my storage room. Um, let me see if I can find a picture of it. This is what is in my storage room. So, it the other day or yesterday, I went out there to get something and yep, it's skink. Um, and it ran over my foot. I scared it and it was trying to get out of the storage room, and I was in the storage room getting something off the shelf and it ran over my foot in flip-flops. Mm, no. 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 That's what I thought was in my nightstand last a month or so ago. But that was the mouse. Oy. Wait, what? Ung Hero, did you mess up? Uh, did Ung Hero pull an accidental? Oh boy. I'm sorry, Roy. It was an accident. I was wondering why I haven't seen him. Like, oopsie. Uh, Oy. No. What did you do? Ung Hero, what did you do? Yeah, and Flash Fan had to go, but he'll be on replay crew. So my only goal in life is to be the opposite of my mom with BPD. My siblings who have kids, well, we all parent differently, are 1,000% better. It's amazing because we had no guide. Sometimes, and I know Rogue Mama, you and I had a you and and Rosalind have all had this conversation that when you're scared or worried that you're not going to be good at something, or you had a really bad example, it's kind of the best thing because that ensures that you're trying your best versus if you had what you thought were quote unquote perfect parents that turned out not to be perfect and you do the same thing as them and follow in their footsteps, like, being scared that you're going to suck at something is actually one of the best motivators to be a good person. How do you do that? Cuz I've never done it, but my daughter has. Oh boy. Oh, hey Flash fan. Hold on. Rogue Mama, I'm gonna put your comment back up cuz you might not be able to see it since you left, but so yeah, baby squid's time to feed people out. Oh, I was wondering where you went. So I can't see well, I have the chat popped out, but it's behind my other. Oh yeah. Okay. Now that that situation is handled. All right, we're going to get back to the stories. So that Project 2025 and how each Um, oops. Um, how each, different news organization handled it by, the words they chose to use, and how just changing a word or 2 and not giving everybody the whole story can be I mean, it can be really, really bad. And the fact that they do it all the time and wonder why people don't believe them. Like, we mods, if someone gets put in timeout and you find one of the deleted message, go and put them in a 10-second timeout. Oh, sweet. I feel like it happens to everybody at least once. Like, it's a oh, Rogue Mama, when I gave Jess a wrench today, I accidentally, took away Unhung Heroes somehow. Like, I oh, this is how can the chat derail the stream? That's how. Mm. I'm just closing all the fake news. I hate to use that term, but it's quite accurate. The, it yeah, it's just weird. Like, the the thing is and somehow through this entire shit show, I gained a subscriber. I don't know who. I don't know how. Oh, yeah, um, that first stream I ever did with Flux, it was, I understood how hard it is to pay attention to what you're doing and the chat at the same time. So, yeah, I understand, and that's kinda why well, and that's kinda why I come in with a plan, but then I just talk to you guys because 'cause you're gonna derail my ass anyway. So, I know the people that are in this chat, um, and I know that you guys when you mention something, I'm like, "Oh, that's a really good idea," or "Let's talk about that." So, you know, see, at least Roy is a good sport, yes. Um, Roy, even Rosalind timed me out on accident one time for 30 minutes. So, good night, Tammy. Have a great weekend. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow because I'm gonna do some work for a couple people, but have a great weekend. Um, it's so easy, especially when you're on your phone, because if you have fat thumbs or your child decides to go like this and just hit your phone, it, shit goes to hell really quickly. That's why I try not to chat from my phone anymore now that I have a better setup. And we're not really sure how long this setup is gonna be here. So if you see start to disappear off the shelf, it's because I'm packing. Because that way, if one, we either find a different place to live or they sell the house and say you have to be out in 30 days, I don't have to spend all my time packing because shit already done. I've already got like 5 boxes packed. It's great. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. We have so much crap. I don't even know what I got timed out for. The only people I've ever timed out intentionally are people in Megan's chat who, on certain occasions, she's like, if anybody talks crap, time them out gladly. And the people who ask for it. If you say, time me out, I dare you, bye, bitch. You asked for it. Who am I to, Yeah, there are boxes. I have speakers. I have Apple HomePods that my dad got me for Christmas like 3 years ago. They're still, I just troll trolls. That's not being strict, that's just I do what the content creator wants me to do as a mod, because every content creator is different. Here, the only ru my rules are kinda like Megan's. If y'all have issues with people, um, block each other. The only people who the only people who I want yeeted out of this channel are bots, but I'm too small for them. And then, um, I'm too small for the bots, but people who are saying things that will get me yeeted off YouTube before I'm even monetized. Yeah, they asked us if we wanted to buy the house, and we don't. So there's that. Um, this house, we plan on using a VA loan, and this house will never pass a VA inspection. And that's a lot of drama that I don't want. Plus, it's far away from everything. It's a 90-minute drive for Mr. Squid to get to work every day. So it's a oh, Flash fan, I forgot to thank you for your other email today, that you sent. Yes, it was great to rent, like, great to rent. Um, yeah, it was a great to rent at a perfect time when we needed something. So, I'm not mad that, that they let us rent this place. Like, I am yeah, and I understand that they wanna sell it. I get it. Is it frustrating? Slightly, just with the uncertainty, but I hold nothing no hard feelings against them at all. It does kinda suck, but at the same time, it's probably the, kick in the pants that we needed to get our asses in gear. I just hope that they can't sell it until next year or at least in December. I did not. Did she show it in her stream earlier today? Yeah, no. I would like for a bunch of people that live in Wisconsin to get out of Wisconsin, but I'd never go there because it's cold and I've adapted to being down here and I'm allergic to snow. I see it and cry. Sweet. Uh, on Twitter or Discord? Uh, let me So one of the other things that I wanted to show is I'm going to do this on a future stream. I'm just not sure which bill I'm going to use. I forgot to write down that bill from last week and I didn't go back and look. Does anybody know the immigration bill that Dave was talking about that was bipartisan and bipartisan, but yeah, it's Dave said that Trump convinced Republicans not to vote for it. Um, because I really want to look up that bill because my goal is to do a stream maybe next week or the week after, depending on if something like um I get some motivation to do a different topic or something comes up. But taking that bill and deconstructing it and saying, yeah, I I most of them are. And that's what I want to kind of explain, but I wanna have the facts to back me up. I don't just wanna come up here and, you know, shoot straight from the hip without the legislation to back me up. That it's not always and the point will be that it's not always the main topic of the bill. That's, ooh, thank you. Yes, because there was other ones in the 1900s and I think one in the 1800s. Yeah, I know. I know that it had a bunch of crap in it, but I just need the bill number. and because I want to prove to some people who probably will never see this, but I don't give a damn, um, that it's not the main topic of the bill. It's the bullshit that's in it that has nothing to do with that has absolutely nothing to do with the topic or the title of the bill that I wanna prove. But I need the actual in order to prove to this person that this bill, there's reasons for it other than immigration, and that's not the reason people voted against it. I need the actual, like, bill number because I like to have those facts to back my opinion up before I open my big mouth, because when someone goes, "Well, show me the evidence," I wanna be like, "Here we go. Here's your evidence. What more do you need?" Um, Wisconsin audited my 2018 state tax returns in 2022. Never alerted me and sent me a 4,500 bill. Yeah, screw that. Screw that. Okay, bipartisan. I'm gonna look on. Um, I'm on Congress.gov, and you'd be surprised all the bills that, um, all the bills that have the words immigration in it. That, um, like these are all renewing immigration provisions from the Immigration Act of 1929. So there's a joint resolution providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8, Title 5 U.S. Code of the rules submitted by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service and the Executive Officer for Immigration Review relating to circumvention of lawful pathways. Like, there is so, like, there is so Immigration and Visa Efficiency and Security Act of 2023. Okay, so this, ooh, Richard McCormick, I've actually talked to his office. So back when Megan was doing a Hernandez case action stream, I contacted my congressman since I'm in Georgia, and they sent me to Richard McCormick's. So we're gonna look at this one. Emergent. I'm writing this down, Roy, because I forgot, and it was a 2-hour stream, so I was not going to have the time to go back and emergency national security. And this is why I always keep a notebook next to me at this computer now. National Security Sup Approp Act. How many words can you shorten? Uh HR 815. Let's see. I kind of want to look at this one because like this hasn't gone anywhere. It's in the House Judiciary Committee and it's been sitting there since December 1st of 2023. Let's see. All actions. Yeah. Introduced by House, referred to the House Committee on the Judiciary. And that's all that's happened. So if you go on congress.gov, you can look up um every active bill and what it's for. You can read it and you can see what exactly is the bull crap that are in these bills that doesn't have anything to do with the main topic of the bill. So people see the name of the bill and they're like, "Well, you voted against that." Well, it's 1,000 pages and there's shit in here for, this, company out in California and this, and it's like, no. Let's see. Text. We're going to look at this one because we're going to see it was written by a Republican, but that's not saying a lot because he's we'll see how many pages this is. Because that's my first thing. If it's 20 pages or under, it might be one topic. But if it's like hundreds of pages, it probably doesn't have a lot to do with what the topic is. Let's see. HR2. And Mr. Squid is working Friday and Saturday. So I told Sammy that I probably wasn't going to be doing a stream on Saturday, but I might do one on Saturday morning to like just do some of this. Like take the chat to work with me. Cuz I get more done when I have y'all's help. Cuz y'all are my motivation. PDF. There we go. It is 39 pages long. So I'm assuming there could be some things in here that with aren't everything has to do with the main topic of the bill, but a 39-page bill is more likely to be one topic than an 1,000-page bill. Because if you can write 1,000 pages on one topic, please enlighten me on how you do that. Actually, don't, because that means you're long-winded, and I don't want to know. So we're just going to kind of run through this one real quick. A bill to amend the Immigration and Nationality Act to eliminate per-country numerical limitations for employment-based immigrants, to increase the per-country numerical limitation for family-sponsored immigrants, and for other purposes. It's this "and for other purposes" that I always get worried with because that's like a catch-all. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. It's dangerous down there. Be careful. And because if you do have to defend yourself, you might end up going to trial. Be it enacted by the Senate, House of Representatives, the United States of America, the Congress shall be assembled. Short title. This act might be cited as Immigration, Visa, Efficiency, and Security Act of 2023, and this bill has not gone anywhere. That's what numerical limitations to any single foreign state. In general, Section 202A2 of Immigration and Nationality Act, 8 U.S. Code 1152, is amended to read as follows. Per country levels for family-sponsored immigrants, subject to paragraphs 3 and 4, the total number of immigrant visas made available to natives of any single foreign state or dependent area under Section 203 in any fiscal year may not exceed 15%. Now, I don't know what it is right now. Or 2% in a dependent area. The total number of such visas made under such sections that fiscal year. Does anybody know what it is right now? Because I can see only letting in certain numbers of people because we only have our infrastructure ain't that great. And our infrastructure needs a lot of work, and we can't just let everybody in because we don't have the resources. You've seen what happens when sanctuary cities actually get sanctuary people. Their infrastructure can't handle it. And then they have more people on the streets. So we need to fix ourselves before we can let more people in. So it looks like and I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but like it all has to do with visas. And it all has to do with immigration. I'm not seeing anything in here so far that doesn't have to do with the Immigration and Nationality Act. It's like this seems to be one bill so far, one topic. And it's like this is Okay. The posting available positions through the Department of Labor. Okay. Department of Labor, but it also has it keeps mentioning the Immigration and Nationality Act. I am for one bill, one topic. Once again, mentions Immigration and Nationality Act. I can't even imagine, Roy. Okay, we're on page 16 and we're still on one topic. I mean, I might not agree with everything in the bill of how they're going to do it, but at least it's one topic. Yeah, I'm just looking at this one because this was actually brought up by the congressman that represents the district just north of me. So, it's kind of I just clicked on it because it's 39 pages and I want to see if all 39 pages have to do with the same thing. Yes, 100% one bill, one topic. Okay? We're on page 26 and we're still mentioning the Immigration and Nationality Act. I mean, it's pretty detailed as far as like, you know, how this one doesn't. This one has 39. But this was a bill from 2023. This was not I just clicked on this one because at the time I didn't know what that bill number was. I'm going to look that up next. But we're on page 34 and we're still talking about immigrant visas. Look at this. This is one bill, one topic. Be it's a large topic. So it goes into it goes into how you're going to apply this bill to each different subsection or each different t- topic and department, which I get has to be a lot of pages. But like it's still mentioning all the way to the last page. It still was one topic. So I'm pretty happy with that one, to be perfectly honest with you. Like I'm really happy with the fact that that was one bill, one topic. So HR 815. Eh, 1973, 2024. Does anybody know when this was? This was 2023. Let's see. I don't know if you did or not. You might have put it in the chat and I lost it. Oh my. Okay. Okay, we just have to talk about this. Why does this need to be a thing? October 26th, 2023 is Intersex Awareness Day. Why? Why does everybody need a day? Why? Let's see. Senate did it. Uh, oh my goodness. HR. Well, that's. Oh, let me just look up the sentence. There's a lot of HRs. No shit. Wouldn't that be something? Let's see. Emergency would be nice if I was actually typing it in the right spot. Oh, I love this. Condemning Republican inaction to address comprehensive immigration reform and border security. So they made a retaliatory. We don't like you, so I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like I just skip through the commentary for court TV to get to the actual, you know. Yeah, that's the problem. Not everybody can be a winner. Like not everybody can be a winner. Um Security Supplemental Appropriations Act. Yeah, right here. That was they wrote a bill, Ukraine Security Supplemental Appropriations Act. Like and and it is real security. Like, can we can we just not? Yeah, there's so many Senate and this is ridiculous. Department of Homeland Security Appropriations Act 2025. Interesting. I'll have to search for it because even typing the bill in did not did not help. Cuz the first things that come up is not emergency, it's Israel and Ukraine. It's like, nah, but like it why do we need to support other countries? Yeah, that's what I want to know. We're broke. Why are we what happened to don't spend more money than you got? Like if you don't have the money, someone needs to take our credit cards away. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at Emergency Grant Aid for College Students Act. It's called Pay Your Own Way, you dumbasses. God, I'm like crotchety old man here. I went from 38-year-old woman to 75-year-old angry, grumpy man. Get off my lawn. Like, there's just so much every day. But yet, there's so many bills, yet they get nothing accomplished. How does that make sense? Yeah, we owe everybody money. But the problem is we paid for everybody and we pay everybody else a share, which puts us in debt more than we already are. Yeah, we'll never have a balanced budget ever, ever. But hey, Flash fan, you want to know a fun fact about Trump's tax cuts? Even though we were paying less in taxes for per person, the country as a whole was bringing in more tax revenue because more people were working. So sometimes cutting people's taxes can do wonders for how much money you actually bring into a country. Interesting. It's a little fun tidbit that just because people were bitching that The tax cuts, the tax cuts. We're not gonna get as we're already in debt. Why are you cutting taxes? We were bringing in more money than ever with the tax cuts because more people were working, because they had incentives to work. Right now, yeah, that's, I was sick. Wait. When did Clinton become president? 93? 94? 94? I was 9. So, yeah, it's a little tidbit. I don't have the exact figures, but yeah. I mean, if you think about it the rough math, if you have 10 people paying 30% or 30 people paying 10%, which brings in more money? It When you have more people working and more people that have incentives to work, you bring in more money. Yeah. I gotta look up the exact numbers from when the tax cuts were, because I remember my paycheck was about $100 ish more every 2 weeks, but I was also started to put more money in my 401k at the time, so, like, yeah. Hey, Rosalind, and I'm actually gonna be headed to bed here soon. Um, I am exhausted, and I wouldn't I don't be insulted by this, but, yeah, that's kind of brainwa brainwashed. You don't know what you don't know. And when you're told that the other side is evil and hates you, it makes you not wanna look because you're scared. So, I can understand why certain people know and just keep their head buried in the sand and don't believe it. And other people are just scared that they truly believe that anybody on the opposite side of the aisle hates you. The the I'm convinced that instead of how understand it and how I kind of describe it is the right thinks of the left as good people with bad ideas. The left thinks the right are evil people. There's the difference. Yeah, so I was watching his interview with that I in the organization it's Black journalists. I don't know what the exact I would be wrong if I gave you an acronym like NA something NAG some or something like that. Um National Association of Black Journalists, NABG, I think. Um I told you I wasn't going to give you an acronym and then I worked it out. But when Harris Faulkner asked him, "What do you mean by black? They're taking black jobs." I th- I think Trump could have phrased it a little bit better, but he's not a politician, so he doesn't polish his words. He just tells it like it is. It's all people, but he was talking to a group of black people, so he said black jobs. The jobs from it's also taking um I do sort of. He's on Rumble now. I listened to him more when he was on YouTube, but YouTube yeeted him, and I don't really open my Rumble app a lot. So I get notifications from Rumble, but I don't, so I listen to him occasionally. I've listened to him more since the, assassination attempt, considering he was Secret Service, so he probably has a lot of contacts that will give him truthful information that I don't have, and I believe his contacts who are remaining anonymous versus the head of the Secret Service. I don't believe a word that she and now he says. But it's just like I think his words were a little bit unpolished. I think, and this is my interpretation of what he said, he was saying they're taking black jobs, but he was talking to a group of black men and women. So he addressed the audience he was talking to. It's like, it's, it's one of those, like, I appreciate you, Flash fan. Yeah, Project 2025 scares a lot of people. And when you said you were scared about it, I'm like, well, let's investigate why. And let's get to the bottom of it. So you're kind of the not the motivation, but the inspiration for these kind of streams because of the fact that you were willing to talk to me about things that you didn't understand, things that scared you, your perspective as a Democrat who happens to be black. It's one of those things. Yeah, well, I think that's where I got it from. I'm not sure. I've heard multiple people say it, but I think it's true. It's like, I think most Democrats, there's a few Democrats that I think are like the spawn of Satan, but that's like, yeah, libertarianism. I would describe myself as a libertarian if libertarians actually knew how to get things done. But, we good ideas, but no way to get those ideas accomplished and no plans of how to get those ideas accomplished. Because you can have all the great ideas that you want to. I wanted to start a YouTube channel and get 1 million subscribers. Well, how are you going to do it? I don't know. You're going to work your ass off every day trying to come up and cover things that nobody ever does. Yeah, that whole okay, I know that obviously I'm white, but I was offended, and I've never. Liberal white women are the only people that get offended for other people. But if I was black, I would have been pissed. Because you don't tell me who to vote for just because my skin color is different from yours. You don't like, what? How dare you? How dare you tell me who to vote for based on the color of my skin or what's between my legs? Yeah. On The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I have so many things open that I have to what did I? Let's see.
Joe Biden has stuck his foot all the way in his mouth.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
In an interview with the Breakfast Club co-host Charlemagne, the presidential hopeful made an egregious comment that has people questioning if he's worthy of their vote. Towards the end of the almost 20-minute interview, Charlemagne touched on an issue of great concern. Who will be Joe's running mate?
Black people saved your political life in the primaries this year. They have things they want from you, and one of them is a black woman running mate. What do you say to them? What I say to them is that I'm not acknowledging anybody who is being considered, but I guarantee you there are multiple black women being considered. Multiple.
Charlemagne had a follow-up question, but got interrupted by someone off camera saying their time was up. The radio host instead invited Biden to come back, but Joe's response was off-putting.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
The comment may have been directed just at Charlemagne, but it plays into the false notion that Democrats own the black vote and don't have to earn the black vote.
Yeah.
Furthermore, a privileged white man does not get to dictate what is and isn't black. And unfortunately for Joe, Twitter is on a tirade.
Yeah. This was back before the 2020 election. This was years ago. Oh yeah, I like this was yeah. This was back in the last election when he was still somewhat coherent.
And don't have to earn the black vote.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
The comment may have been directed just at Charlemagne, but it plays into the false notion.
Oh, yeah. That was, let's see. This was 4 years ago. This video was, well, it just says 4 years ago. It doesn't give me an exact date. But yeah. That was before the 2020 election. Ew. I literally cringe every time I see that. I'm like, wow, you racist mofo. Like, oh. When people call Trump racist, I'm like, but y'all's guy said this, and that's not racist. Like, everybody loved Trump. Everybody loved Trump when he was on The Apprentice and when he was just a billionaire. The minute he said he was going to run for president and he wasn't going to run as a Democrat, that's when everybody started to hate him. Until then, everybody loved him. But like, that makes me cringe. Yeah. Like, Orange Man bad, letting Biden get away with everything. Like, Biden spoke at the funeral for the leader of the KKK. Like, being black doesn't, like, this is not meant to be offensive, but being black or being white doesn't mean anything. It doesn't dictate what's between your ears. Like, it doesn't matter what's between your legs or what color your skin is. I don't care. The world doesn't care. Well, some parts of the world care, but it's neither here nor there. But like, it doesn't. Oh, when people talk like that, it just makes me cringe. It's like, like, you don't dictate what someone thinks just because of the color of their skin. Like, no. Like, that's called being racist. That is the exact definition. Yes. Oh, one thing I did want to mention on tonight's stream, I did, I have to go to my YouTube. So, I'm trying to find my downloaded videos. If you haven't watched this video, there was, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have said this. Yeah, Flash fan, you like history. You know what Lyndon B. Johnson said about blacks when he signed the Welfare Act in the 60s. The what was the name of that? There was the Great something. I can't remember what it is right now. It's late. I'm tired. But yeah, it was not pretty. And Lyndon B. Johnson, if I'm remembering correctly, was one of the most racist people in the world. Yet he's the one that's the savior to black people. I just don't. Way to cut the tension in the room. Uh, so the FBI director, when he first testified in front of Congress, said that he didn't know if Trump had been shot by a bullet or it was shattered glass or I remember All in the Family. I mean, I like I can see some. Okay, this is gonna sound really bad, but there's no filter. He says what he thinks. He says what's on his mind. You don't always like what's on his mind, but that's not gonna stop him from saying it. So I can totally see the Archie Bunker comparisons or the Red Foreman. The Red Foreman. Oh yeah, that was yeah, that was yeah, that was really bad. That was really bad. During a certain person's during a certain yeah, well, during Clarence Thomas's interviews, confirmation hearings, it was it was um it was bad. It was bad. Hey dad, how are you? It's been so this was back in the early 90s. Yeah. And contrary to what Biden and his administration have told you, Pete Buttigieg is not the first openly gay cabinet member. Trump did that. I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a cabinet member who was gay. But the difference between Biden and Trump in that respect is they didn't feel the need to announce it because who he slept with and who he went home to every night did not impact how he did his job. It was a aspect of his personality. It was not his entire personality. Ugh. Exactly. Exactly. And I never understand, and this is another thing that I don't get, and Flash fan, you can help me understand this. Why do people say when Trump does something to help the black community that he's pandering? It's like, no, this is just who he is. He's always done it, and it was never pandering until y'all didn't, well, not y'all, but like the world didn't like him. But it was never pandering back then. It was just him doing a job. And now it's like he doesn't help minority communities and he's evil. He helps them and he's pandering. I'm not understanding why that it's like why? I don't get it. Okay, it was in the 80s. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can look up. I'll look up that and that'll be one of the things we watch for next. Yeah, I just never understand why, like, either way he's evil. And it's not just him. People say it's like people all the time. Like, even okay, so I wear a bonnet at night. Well, I had one here. I don't know where it went. Either way, I got it from a girl on Facebook called CC Mink. Her phrase is hair care, not race. She's being called every slur under the sun and that she's only pandering to white people and that we will never accept her. I don't care. Like, why do people talk like that? That is that makes me like repulsed. Like, you don't help someone out and you hate them. You help them out and you're pandering to them. Like, you're I just don't understand the logic. Like, do people wake up every day just looking for a reason to be angry? How miserable are people in this world that they purposely try to tear down other people? Like, oh, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I don't know if I would title it that way, but yeah. Myth of the week. Yeah. Well, it's one of those things of it's always like they're for black people only. It's like um Little House on the Prairie, Amish women. Like my grandmother always wore my mama always wore something outside. Like I just don't understand the gatekeeping. Like culture is meant to be shared. Yes, this, this. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So next week, I think I'm gonna get going here in a minute because I need to get to bed. But yeah, Nick wears a bonnet too. Like I love mine. It's it's hard to wear in the summertime because it's just so damn hot. But like I have two, and I need to find the other one. I think my daughter stole it. So Democrats have to lie to protect each other, and the media protects the Democrats. Joe Biden has been racist before he entered the Senate 50 years ago. Democrats pretend to help minorities. Yes, they only care about minorities' votes. They only pretend to care about people every 4 years. Up until then, they just do what they want to do. And like even down to the Senate, these hearings with the Secret Service and the FBI and everybody, they're only getting pissed at her because they're grandstanding so that the buck doesn't stop with her. Because if they go, well, who appointed her? They'd have to look at themselves. And they don't want that. So they're acting like they're being hard on her so that no one turns around and looks at them and be like, this is your fault because you appointed her. Like, I mean, that's all these hearings these days are, is a pander session. Like, now if they want something to say is evil, it's a show called Amos and Andy where they had white people acting like black people in the 1930s. Yeah, I've heard of that show. I've never seen it. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Flash fan, one of these days I need to send you a link and you need to hop on and we have to actually have a conversation because that would be fascinating. Yep, Biden was the author of the 1994 crime bill that incarcerated more black men than any other point in history. I think the only person to compare how many black men that they put in prison is Kamala. I believe that yeah, mainly Japanese people, but we're not going to talk about that. Like the history of this country ain't pretty, but it's certainly a lot better than other places. All right. On that happy note, I think that we are going to get going. I had a couple other things I wanted to talk about, but I am just yeah, there is proof that she kept them in prison longer than their sentences. Yeah. I hope so. But one of these days we gotta do a stream together because you'd be a fascinating person to talk to. Because you've opened my eyes to so many things, and it's nice to have someone to reach across the aisle and discuss things with. Like not just talk to people in my little bubble. Because that's the thing too. We all talk about people in our own little echo chambers. And that's another problem is if we only talk to people who agree with us, we never learn anything. I don't know. But I will see you guys later. Thanks for all the ideas for next week. I'll have to figure stuff out. I know I always have a plan for this stream and then get derailed by the chat, but I think it's Ung Hung Hero's goal of how quickly he can derail my streams. Sounds good. We'll be in touch. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. I know that there is a couple other big streams tonight, so I appreciate you hanging out with me. I am going to see, because now that I know how to redirect people, I am just going to make sure that I still can't redirect people. Like, because I learned how, but I don't know if I can do it because I am not monetized. But we will check just to make sure. Nope. I still can't do it. Y'all have a great night. I know the expert is still streaming. Last time I checked, Megan was still with Tug, and MG, but is in 15 minutes. Y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all on the next one. Maybe Saturday morning for a take your chat to work. If not, it'll be next Monday, and hopefully I don't have tech issues. Bye, guys.